morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
The National Park Service has once again denied Governor Kristi Noem's request for a July fireworks over Mount Rushmore. In a letter, the NPS cited environmental concerns, high fire danger, and continued opposition from the tribes. The letter also said the proposed fireworks event would restrict how many people can attend the memorial for the holiday. Noem says many of these issues have already been addressed. In 2020, President Donald Trump attended a fireworks display at Mount Rushmore. About 7,500 people attended the ticketed event. In contrast, the NPS says during its Independence Day celebrations at the memorial, between 22 and 39,000 people attended those events. Governor Noem sued the National Park Service because she couldn't have a 2021 celebration. A judge sided with the Park Service, and the case is now making its way through the appeals process. A series of billboards attacking South Dakota legislators are now part of an investigation, according to the Minnehaha County State's Attorney. The signs include an image of Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg, along with the names of 5 state lawmakers, asking what they are hiding and urging for Ravnsborg's impeachment. The billboards were paid for by a nonprofit called Dakota Institute for Legislative Solutions. KELOLAND News spoke with lawmakers featured on the billboards. You can read their reactions in this KELOLAND.com original by Jacob Newton right here online. A 31-year-old Sturgis man is facing charges accused of robbing a bank. The robbery happened Monday afternoon at Great Western Bank in Spearfish. Police say Derek Dufek gave a threatening note demanding cash to an employee. Officers later found him in Deadwood. He is facing charges of robbery and grand theft. Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munn. Starting to feel a lot like spring, Scott.
Oh, that it is, especially yesterday when we had numbers in the 70s that covered central and central South Dakota. Maybe not quite as warm today, but temperatures still above average and remaining mostly dry. And I say mostly dry because we do have a couple of scattered sprinkles, maybe a very light rain shower to start the day in western and north central South Dakota. We are looking at dry skies today and warm conditions. High of 64 in Sioux Falls. Northwest wind around 10 to 20 miles per hour. In Aberdeen, 58 today. Northwest breeze of 15 to 30. In central South Dakota, Pierce high temperature 61. Northwest wind of 15 to 30. And western KELOLAND 54 today. In Rapid City, but windy. Strong northwest wind 20 to 40. More details on the KELOLAND Live Doppler forecast with Brian coming up. Sioux Falls police say hit-and-run incidents are common and more are happening each year. Alexandria Centra knows just how stressful it is to be a victim of one. Her car was hit last week while parked on the street. It's totaled and the person responsible hasn't been found.
It's hard. I'm a teacher and I'm a single mom. I don't make that much money. And so for me to take a $21,000 hit for someone else's mistake is it's difficult and it's stressful.
The car that hit Centro was also damaged, leaving a Ford F-150 bumper next to her car. If you have any information on who might have hit Centra's car last week on East 19th Street, you can call Crime Stoppers or use the P3 Tips app. As you get ready to head out the door, we want you to be warned about 2 houses that will be on the move in Sioux Falls this morning. The move gets underway at 9 a.m. in the area of 33rd Street and Grange Avenue. Sioux Falls police say the house will head east to Minnesota Avenue, south to 49th Street, west to Western Avenue, and then south out of the city. Officers ask that you find an alternate route. Coming up at the top of the hour, Sioux Falls Mayor Paul Tenhaken will give his State of the City address. He's expected to cover topics ranging from infrastructure and public safety to housing and programs for kids. The address is set to get underway at 8 o'clock this morning. You can watch it live right here on KELOLAND.com. The St. Patrick's Day Parade is returning to Sioux Falls this year. Mike O'Hara is the Grand Marshal this year. His family are proud Irish, and they see this as a chance to celebrate their family heritage.
Some of my great-grandparents, all my great-great-grandparents were born in Ireland, immigrated over here. Some of them came through Iowa, some of them through Illinois and Iowa, and end up in South Dakota where land was cheap and they could be farmers.
The O'Hara family has been in every single one of the St. Patrick's Day parades. As the SDSU men and USC women hit the road for the NCAA tournament, KELOLAND Sports has you covered. Sports director Sean Bauer is in Buffalo, New York with the Jackrabbits as they get set to face Providence Friars tomorrow at 11:40 a.m. Central Time.
And KELOLAND's Grant Sweeter will be heading to Waco, Texas, where the Coyotes will meet Ole Miss at 12:30 Friday. Stick with KELOLAND News on air and online for stories and live reports leading up to the games.
Meanwhile, over in Canton, a group of students earned a game of dodgeball on Tuesday. Their opponent, school resource officer Tim Westling, and he brought Canton Police Chief Troy Swenson as backup.
Even though they were outnumbered, both the chief and officer came prepared with shields. Canton police say the two also used their handcuff keys as a way to get back into the game when they got hit.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, forecast today. Well, good game day for dodgeball outside, I would say. Temperatures in the 60s. Look at all of this here. From Pierre to Sioux Falls today, some of these numbers are going to be the warmest they've been all a year long, at least, into this very early spring-like forecast. And we expect 64 in Sioux Falls today, so that would be the warmest since going back to last fall. Tonight, we're a little cooler. We've got this northwest wind that's pushing through today, too, by the way. Rapid City, the end result of that is 20 to 40 mile-an-hour wind. And then you do notice there's just a sliver of moisture covering that Custer Hot Springs area. We'll see if we get clipped by any of that in the morning. If we do, I don't think it's going to be much. And overall, we're still in the 50s here tomorrow. Basically, north winds will dominate in response to a storm that's tracking to our south. And a lot of that moisture will stay away from KELOLAND. So we're not going to count on that for much in the way of any changing moisture tallies here. But some clouds in Sioux Falls on Friday, you know, combined with the north wind, probably equals some cooler weather, upper 40s to near 50. But overall, our forecast remains very spring-like. And you can see the track of that system there in view across Colorado, Kansas, into Nebraska. That's a good moisture maker there for some of those folks, too, by the way. They could use it. And then the weekend here is looking mild. We're already looking at a resurgence of 60-degree weather, or even a little bit more than that here. All right, 64 today, Sioux Falls area. We're looking at 65 in Mitchell. The 7-day forecast stays pretty dry, at least until Sunday or Monday. Now, next week, there are some showers. There's a pretty good storm to our south. We'll see how much of that moisture makes it here, but it should begin to impact our temperature a little bit as we cool off day 6 and day 7. But nothing dramatic yet, and I think Aberdeen probably warranting some shower chances by the end of the forecast. And you see here, too, for Pierre and Rapid City, we're looking at highs 60s, maybe 70 by Sunday. And it looks like in Rapid City, too, a chance of hitting those 60s this weekend ahead of some important moisture chances next week. You can find out more coverage with our weather update right now at KELOLAND.com.